Sports Talk. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. It's me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk, and I'm back in the house with another edition of NFL Sunday Morning. So wake up, join me today, man. We got lots to discuss as usual. We're back on track. Last week I did my little mock draft. Hope you guys enjoyed that. The video's still on YouTube. Make sure if you haven't watched that, do so after the show. But we got to talk about the Baltimore Ravens again. I know this is old news now, but because I missed it last week, but I wanted to share my thoughts even more so. Did they reach on OBJ? I'll save that. All right. Also, defense or offense, it was reported this week that the Houston Texans they're not actually set on taking quarterback with their first pick, which is interesting, right? I'll share my thoughts on that as well. Budda Baker wants out of Arizona. The Cardinals are a mess. God, this franchise, I'm not saying that they were like a top contender, but they had a little run, but I think that run is over. And finally, I want to talk about YouTube. Just presented their pricing or their announcement of what they're going to be charging this year for the NFL Sunday Ticket, because DirecTV that's done with. So, is it better than DirecTV? Is it the same? I know I'm getting mixed emotions about it, or they're hearing different things from different people. So I'll give you guys my thoughts on that as well. So, but like as usual, man, hey, wake up. If you got your coffee, you're eating your breakfast, throw me up on the TV, man. Whatever you got to do. But listen, it's going to be a good show. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is Clutch Sports Talk NFL Sunday Morning with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. Good morning, one and all, man. Thank you for making me a part of your Sunday morning. Hope you're having a good weekend. Weekend's about to come to an end for most of us that work the traditional 9 to 5. But hey, it's always good to be on the live stream, getting to talk with you and can interact with everyone here. But before we get in the show, make sure if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, Clutch Sports Talk Podcast, as well as hit me up on the Grid Network. You see it right there below, the GRYD Network. We are making things happen. Ride the wave right now. Okay, get on it right now. We got a lot of great content creators there doing some special things. So you don't want to miss out on that. And also check out my TikTok, man. I'm trying to make that thing pop off right now. So I'm doing a lot of work on that as well. So I appreciate all the support so far with everyone that's been watching and liking and subscribing and following. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So, hey, we already got some comments in this already going. We got my boy Patrick, who runs a phenomenal, he has Chaotic Sports and he has The Forum. If you're a Laker fan, check him out. He says, good morning, bro. The Clutch Combine film studies have been sensational. Keep the game moving forward. My guy, loving the grid. Absolutely, sir. You know what? Those Clutch Combine videos, I like doing them, honestly, because if you don't have time to sit there and watch a whole NFL draft show or even someone else's live show about like some type of draft analysis for your team, particularly, the premise behind that is just to give people 60 seconds of a potential guy that maybe might fit your team. So I've done quarterbacks, receivers, DBs, linebackers, edge rushers, so check those out. I've got a few of them out there. So if you haven't looked that up, go to my TikTok at clutch_sports_talk, man. It's all right there for you for your viewing pleasure. So make sure you guys do that. All right. I don't know, man. Everyone's commented on this before with the whole OBJ thing, and I get a little bit of it's 50-50. Some people think he has a lot left in the tank. Some people say it was kind of a very what you call it. I won't say irrational. I don't know. I think it's more, what's the word? Desperate move by the Baltimore Ravens to sign OBJ. And it's not that the signing was desperate, but the amount of commitment that you're putting into a guy. Again, he's older. He's coming off another serious injury, right? And you're asking him to be a number one guy when he hasn't been a number one guy in quite a while, right? Not since he left New York has he been the number one guy. And everyone said, oh, well, he was in the Rams. He was balling out, yada, 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 which I've been on record saying, I thought he was washed even when he went to the Rams. I'm a man. Listen, let's just put this out there. Guys like me who do these types of shows, or anybody, really ESPN, Fox, doesn't matter whether you're a big top guy or a big dog or a small fish, whatever. You say things and things just happen, right? So I'll give Odell his flowers. I mean, but when he was in LA, he had the benefit of playing alongside Cooper Kupp, who was an emerging wide receiver. Obviously now he suffered an injury, but he came in mid-year. You know, again, it's not an excuse. I'm not saying that he was washed or whatever, right? But my whole point is that the Ravens are bringing him in to be the guy, and they're saying, now Lamar's got a number one guy. Well, if it was like 6 years ago, yeah, I would say so. But Odell is older, man, and to give him that amount of money, it really shows that they're just desperate to keep Lamar Jackson, honestly. And some people will disagree with me. I don't know, and that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's my opinion, and you have your own opinion. But the fact is, you can't tell me that a guy his age with his injury list is going to be able to hold up a whole season being the number one guy. I just don't see it. I do not see that. So are the Ravens now suddenly, contenders? No. No. That division is tough, man. It's a tough division. And signing him doesn't make me feel like, okay, they're moving the needle, right? I mean, listen, in that division right now, it's Cincinnati's division to lose, right? The Steelers might be coming on a little bit. Maybe Kenny Pickett could do something, right? Maybe they figure out their run game situation, right? They improve their offensive line. That defense is going to be good, right? And then, the wild card is the Browns. Like, we don't know what they're going to do. Could they have a 11, 12 win season? They could. I mean, they have the talent. They've always had talent the last couple of years. So, but when you stack up the Ravens' talent compared to the rest of the teams in that division, the OBJ to me is not like I'm pounding the desk saying, you know what, this guy, he incredibly will impact them immediately. Now, he might have a game or two because he's still OBJ, right? But, well, the proverbial saying is, what's Newton's theory where what can go wrong will go wrong. And I'm not wishing that he gets hurt, but there's a good chance that he'll get hurt again because that's what he's been like the last several years. So again, I'm not wishing him any ill will. I like OBJ. I think he's a phenomenal player, right? When he's healthy, but he can't stay healthy. And then now you're pairing him, if Lamar does decide to play, you're pairing him with a guy that can't even finish out a season himself. So I think the Baltimore Ravens are putting together a convalescent offense, meaning you have guys that are just unhealthy across the board. And this organization has been unhealthy in the last several seasons. So I don't know what's going on, excuse me, out there in Baltimore, but it is what it is. We got some comments. What's up, my brother? He says, Mr. Sunday morning is here. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, it's early, man. It's early for me. I've been up since 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time getting this show ready. So it's a grind. Patrick says OBJ signing to Baltimore is a questionable move. He hasn't run routes in a while. Can he cut and plant as receivers should? The biggest question, and there's a reason teams stay declared. Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a big market. He did not have a big market, but the Ravens ponied up. It's one thing if the Ravens were like, let's be shrewd about it and say, all right, we'll sign you, but let's make your contract a little bit more incentive based. Prove to us that you can play. We'll give you a platform. We'll give you an opportunity to play because we think you can do something. You are a special talent, but you're hurt. But they didn't do that. So it is what it is. All right. Patrick also says playing in the AFC North will test his skill sets. If this was peak LBJ, the signing would look good, but this would be a bad signing as the season goes on. I agree, man. Peak OBJ? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Hands down. That dude was a menace to the National Football League. No one was better than him catching a 2-yard slant and just going to the house. Ask the Cowboys. He did that a couple times against the Cowboys, right? So, I've got some intimate expressions, or what you call it, experiences with OBJ, just watching him so much, as a Cowboys fan, and you're like, damn. I mean, one of arguably the greatest catches ever took place in the National Football League, or in football ever, took place on a Sunday night against, of course, the Cowboys. I think it was Brandon Carr too, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. Well, anyway, but yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? I know we got some people already commenting, but A lot of people love OBJ, man. Like they love this dude, but I don't know, man. I'm just trying to keep it real. I'm just trying to keep it real. I honestly, I think he's gonna get hurt, and it's gonna look like a bad signing at the end of the day. And Lamar is gonna get hurt, and they're gonna be down to God knows who. I don't even know who's on their roster as far as receivers are concerned. So, good luck with that. It was a desperate move, in my opinion. Now, if they come out, they ball and they win, okay, so be it. So be it. But I'll be right here, ready to be like, I told you so. I told you so. All right, moving on. So, Houston Texans, they got to set the second pick in this year's draft coming up in a couple weeks. And make sure you check out the Grid Network, man. We're going to be doing a live draft show on that night, so you don't want to miss out. You got all the characters coming out the woodworks for that one. I'll be on there a little bit, but yeah, make sure you guys check that out, man. It's going to be a good show. But yeah, anyway, back to the Texans. So, D'Amico Ryan's head coach is a defensive guy. Came over from San Francisco, ran a tremendous defense there. Now becomes the head coach in Houston, and they got the second pick. Now they remain firm. They didn't trade back. They're weighing their options. They're weighing their options, and it was reported that they are not sold on just taking a quarterback with their first round pick. Interesting. And there's two ways to look at it. Okay, you're a defensive coordinator. There's some really good, like, game-changing type of talent. Will Anderson comes to mind. You look at the quarterback play, that's the biggest concern, right? So here are my thoughts. I'm okay if you want to take a quarterback this year, right? Whether it's CJ Stroud if he's there, if Carolina doesn't take him, or Bryce Young, or Will Levis, or Anthony Richardson, or Hendon Hooker, or a host of these other guys that are there, right? But it's okay if these guys don't work and you're back, not in the lottery pick, but you're one of the top teams in the draft next year. And then Caleb Williams is available. It's okay to take that. I think we kind of fall in love, or not fall in love, but I think we get so stagnated where, well, we took a quarterback. Well, we can't take another quarterback. Why? Why can't you just take another quarterback? Oh, well, because we wasted. Well, I mean, hey, mistakes happen. Mistakes happen, man. So if you have the ability to get a guy that you think can maybe help your team, do it. So if it was me, if I'm D'Amico Ryan's, look, they got 2 picks in the first round, I think. Okay. So yeah, no, for a fact they do. Maybe go get Will Anderson first, right? And then maybe you fall back. Maybe Hendon Hooker's there available for you. Maybe you do that route too as well. I don't know. But here's the thing: if you do take Bryce Young, if Stroud is gone, I don't think that Bryce Young is going to be a crap quarterback. I think he'll be a really good quarterback. But for how long? He's a small guy, 5'10", 5'9", small frame. Like he takes big hits, right? Reminds me of another Alabama quarterback that's playing in the league right now that can't seem to stay off the injury reserve list, right? I mean, his problem is concussions. Okay. But if you do take Bryce Young, any team that takes Bryce Young, you got to know that you're probably not going to have him, 10 years, right? That's his body will not stand up for that. I'm putting that out there right now. If you do take Bryce Young, he's not going to be be able to withhold or withstand the rigors of the National Football League because he's going to get hit. Okay. So if you take him, just understand that he might be good for 2-3 seasons and then he'll start getting hurt. And then that's pretty much it for him. And then what do you do, right? So it's okay if you do take him. And I wouldn't be mad if they did take him, obviously. I think it would still be a good pick, but it's a matter of short-term and long-term goals, right? Do you want the next guy for the next 10 years? Of course, every team wants that. But the reality is that those guys just don't come rolling down the street just like that. They just don't. You're not going to find a Patrick Mahomes guy every year in the draft. You're not going to find Joe Burrow guys like that. That's just a fact. So when you're drafting these guys, especially quarterbacks, you got to just know, like, hey, we might be able to move. We might have to move off of this guy quickly. Okay. Now, same thing with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud a little bit has more of an upside because he's a little bigger, can take the hits. He's not that far off from Bryce Young, I would say, just based on my assessment of his film. Right. There's certain things about him that I like that I don't like about Bryce Young. And there's things that I like about Bryce Young that I don't like about CJ Stroud or the other guys that are in this draft. Right. Defensive wise, I mean, listen, it's always good to have a good defense. Now, as far off the top of my head with the Texans, They got Damian Pierce, I think, is the running back there. They don't really have any wide receivers. They just traded away Brandon Cooks. They got the tight end kid from Miami. I think, what's his name? God, I forgot his name off the top of my head. And I know they added not Aiden Hurst, Dalton Schultz from the Cowboys. Not sure if that's going to be something. Hopefully John Mechie is on the mend. And he can come back and play in the National Football League. I think he'll be able to add something to that. But they're a young team. They're a young team. And defensively, could you shore them up with a Will Anderson? It's always good to have an edge rusher. My thing with edge rushers, though, is like, it's good to have them, but they're not going to win you a Super Bowl or a championship like that, because you look at what happened, especially with the Texans. Had JJ Watt for years, never even sniffed any real type of success in the postseason. So my best guess is that they'll probably play it safe. They'll go Bryce Young or whatever quarterback is available for that second pick, and then on that second pick in the first round, they'll go and take a defensive guy. But if they do take Will Anderson second, not even mad at that either. What's up, my brother? We got Parnell from Sports PSP says, going back to the Odell thing, is Odell and Lamar going to work? Odell wouldn't be the number one target. That's Mark Andrews. Odell has never worked with a QB like Lamar. True. Well, yeah, Mark Andrews will be. I don't know, man, because he's never had a wide receiver like OBJ. When OBJ is hitting on all cylinders, OBJ I think will surpass Mark Andrews as being the number one target there, for sure. Sorry. But will it work? I think they can play together. It's just, will they be on the field together? That's the thing. It's about availability with them. I think when they're on the field together, I think their productivity will be good. All right, Patrick chimes in about Bryce Young. He says Bryce Young's height will be the biggest issue. He has to be surrounded by a wall and very skilled players via Kyler Murray to, And here's the thing about this, and I mentioned this on my brother's show, Bryson Carver's Carving Up podcast the other day. The whole small quarterback thing, man, it's an issue, man. These guys do not play long. Look, and Patrick just brought it up. Look at Kyler Murray, and we're going to talk about the Cardinals next, but look at their situation. I see some. Yeah, we're gonna get to Arizona next, but Tua. Look, I like Tua, but and I didn't think he was the guy, but he had a great year last year. But the concussions, man. Like, how long is this guy going to continue to play? He's one more concussion away from eating food out of a straw, right? You don't want to see that, and I get it. These guys, they know the risk, but still. So, and he's a smaller guy. I don't know, man. This league is not meant for small dudes. It just really isn't, unfortunately. Now, people, we got, you got Darren Sproles. Listen, there's outliers in every scenario, in every situation in life, right? But on average, football players are like 6 foot plus, 2 something. It's a reason. It's a reason, dude. It ain't by happenstance that these guys are just big for no reason. They're big because you need to be big. That's just a fact. So I don't know, man. But Texans, they can go either way. Honestly, I feel like the Texans is a good place. I think if they figure it out, it could be a good situation for them. If you think about Texas, no state tax, people go crazy for football in the state of Texas. Okay, why not if you can get it right? So hopefully D'Amico Ryans can turn things around, and we'll see. Patrick says, if you don't have the franchise quarterback, you keep drafting every 2-3 years with no stability. The game is faster, more physical. Yeah, listen, here's the thing. Because if it don't work out for D'Amico Ryans, he's gone in 2-3 years anyway. So not everybody's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're not going to have 3 coaches in your whole, existence. That's just not, again, that's another outlying situation. That's an outlier, right? But look, case in point, good segue. We'll talk about Arizona Cardinals right now, actually. So Budda Baker, been there. Well, he's a baller. He wants out because he's looking at the writing on the wall. Did you know there was a report a couple weeks ago, probably almost a month ago? I saw the NFL had put together some type of like assessment on like players, teams, like training facilities, the ambiance, the environment, things of that nature. And the Cardinals, they were like almost dead last. They have like one of the worst training facilities in the National Football League. And I don't know why, because there's a lot of money in Arizona, man. And they play in Glendale, not that far from Scottsdale. lot of money out there, right? A lot of land too. But they got rated one of the worst training facilities in all national football and just environment overall, right? It's weird. But Budo anyway wants out because he's looking around. He's like, let me see here. Um, Kyler is coming off a knee injury, right? We really don't have any talent on this team other than myself. I mean, he's arguably the best player on this team right now, Budda Baker is. And he's like, I don't want to. I'm not trying to do a rebuild. I'm a seasoned vet. I'm a Pro Bowler. I'm a baller, right? I need to go and win somewhere. You know, shout out to him. But are they going to trade him? I don't know. I mean, they're falling apart, though. I mean, they're literally falling apart. They are probably going to be the worst team in the National Football League next year. I mark my words. I would assume they would be one of the worst teams in the National Football League for sure. And if they are, and they're in the running for that Caleb Williams, you go get them. Screw Kyler Murray. Get him out of there. And that leads me to this comment here by Parnell Sports PSP. Check him out. He says, how much pressure is on Kyler Murray in 2023? A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure because he needs to perform. Because there's so many things surrounding him, like number one, the injury, right? Obviously. Number two, his attitude. Number three, his work ethic, right? And those are things that you don't want to have to question your quarterback. And you question all of those things. So Buddha's seeing this and he's like, dude, I don't want no parts of this team. No parts of this team. And I don't blame him because why would you? Why would you? And I'm telling you right now, Cardinals are gonna first of all, the division that they're in is tough. Okay, you got obviously the Niners. They're king of the hill. Seattle's gonna be all right, right? They're gonna add some more defensive firepower probably in the first round, right? Their offense is pretty sturdy, right? They seem to get healthy with their running backs. The Rams are gonna bounce back. I don't think the Rams are gonna have such a terrible year anymore, right? They're gonna bounce back, and then you got the Cardinals. The Cardinals are right there with what? Kyler Murray and a cast of who? Well, DeAndre Hopkins is there, but he might get moved draft night. And if he gets moved, it's a wrap. You might as well just pencil their behinds in, just write them in there, right, as the number one pick for next year because they're gonna suck really bad. Offensive line is trash. You lost J.J. Watt. Defense is probably going to be trash. Your best player overall on the team, Budda Baker, wants out. And I hate to say that because their fan base, they're very nice. They're cordial people. Been to a couple of their games. They're not trying to fight you. But if you're a Cardinals fan right now, man, it's not anything to be excited about, especially going into this draft because you're like, well, because it starts with the quarterback and can he bounce back from that injury that he's sustained? So Budda wants out. It's just crazy to me. Patrick says we're starting to see Arizona best players get out between ownership and coaching. No player wants to be a part of it. Hiring Jonathan Gannon. Well, yeah. And it's like Jonathan Gannon, like, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, you hired he was the defensive coordinator from Philly, if I'm not mistaken, right? And they got smoked in the Super Bowl. Well, and I know people, well, that was just one game. I get that, but it is the biggest game of the year. And really, that Eagles defense was a fraud the whole year. And that's not even throwing shade on them. I mean, literally, that was the first time in about 12 games that they had played a legitimate quarterback. Go back and look at their schedule. And Eagle fans will be mad, but go back, look at that schedule and say, what was a quality quarterback that they actually played? And that's including my Dak or the Cowboys' Dak Prescott. And when they did play him the second time around, they gave him like 500 yards. So was that defense really that elite? So I wish I had that Drewski meme. So what you saying by that? What you mean by that? I'm saying that maybe that guy, just the coach Gannon, is not that good of a coordinator. But I've never been a fan of hiring defensive guys as coordinators anyway. That's just never been my thing. I really don't. To me, defensive guys that become head coaches, they can never develop a quarterback. You've seen it time and time and time and time again. Like, who was other than Bill Belichick, and he was just lucky that he got Tom Brady. Okay. You look at any other team that's won the Super Bowl in the last couple of years, it's always been offensive minded guys. Because you know why? Good offense will always be the good defense, man. Straight up. I mean, think about it. Okay, let's see. Kansas City won it this year. No surprise. Rams won it the year before. Sean McVay, offensive guy. Right? Who was that? Who was the year before? Tampa Bay. right? Tampa Bay. They got to do a little bit of defense, but their coach was an offensive guy. Okay, look what happened when they switched over to a defensive guy. They sucked. They sucked, right? Year before that, the Chiefs. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on, right? Defensive guys that become head coaches, to me, they just don't pan out. So if you're, obviously Cardinals now, Jets, even Houston, right? I just talked about them. It ain't gonna work out, man. It ain't gonna work out. And Budda wants out, and it says, well, let's see. Patrick is saying Eagles are were the beneficiaries of a soft schedule. They were first scoring half team, then playing middle of the road to finish the game. I said it time and time. Yeah, their defense wasn't Friday. Listen, the whole schedule thing is like, you got to play who's on the schedule. So it is what it is. But when the fans start coming, oh man, we're the top. Like hold on. Slow down. Okay. You won your games. You won a lot of games. I understand that, right? And I don't even want to. I don't even have this as my topic today. But Jalen Hurts played a great year. He should be considered one of the better quarterbacks going into this year. But going into this year, not putting him like, oh yeah, he's one of those. We got to see about them, man. We got to see about them. There's a lot of turnover on that team, man, and they're older now, and they're gonna have to pay Hurts. They're gonna have to pay Hurts too. And you know what happens when when you got to pay your quarterback. So, but anyway. I digress. All right. Last topic before we get out of here, man. This morning, nice quick show. Sunday Ticket. For those you don't know, DirecTV had the monopoly on NFL Sunday Ticket package for like since 1994 or something crazy like that. So what? 2 decades almost. So they lost the rights to that. YouTube steps in, they're going to be paying the NFL $2 billion for the next 7 years to have the rights exclusively to stream the NFL Sunday Ticket. Now, I've heard people say, "Oh man, I'm so glad this is happening. The NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV is so expensive and blah blah blah." And then some people are like, it's pretty much the same pricing, maybe a little cheaper." So the way I understand is that Sunday Ticket, they were charging people like $49.99, something like that, for like 6 months, what comes up to like three something, right? And I think right now the highest package for the YouTube deal is, I think, like you can pay like four something or 3 something, right? And if you are a YouTube member or a YouTube subscriber to YouTube TV, you get $100 off, right? Because you can just buy the Sunday Ticket. You don't need the Red Zone, but if you want to bundle the Red Zone, which a lot of people, I love the Red Zone actually. If you want to bundle the Red Zone and the Sunday Ticket package, you can do that. That's like 3 something as well. And then they have something called YouTube Prime Time or whatever the case may be. You can bundle that for like $4.95, right? So at the end of the day, man, listen, most people can't afford that. They just can't. And I don't know if YouTube is going to do the pricing, the payment plan. I used to be a member of DirecTV years ago, and I remember they would just take like the $49.99 every month, on my statement. I don't know if YouTube will allow that. If they do, then maybe that it'll be the same. Maybe people can do that, because I don't, most people probably just can't. They don't have just $500 just lying around to pay up front, right? And there's still going to be blackout dates. So from what I read, there's going to be local games that you can't even catch. So I live in Las Vegas, right? So we got the Raiders. Say I wanted to watch the Raider game, which I really probably wouldn't want to anyway. But if it's a good game or interesting game, there's a good chance I couldn't even watch it. So yeah, I mean, listen, you're just trading $1 billion company for another $1 billion company. Now, this is a blow to cable and the DirecTV folks, because listen, who watches cable like that anymore? A lot of people have cut the cord, right? A lot of people are fed up with cable, right? You just want to a la carte or buy the certain things that you want to watch, like, Hulu, Netflix, Prime, Paramount, whatever, all the others, Peacock, whatever. You just buy what you want to see. But this is a good move for YouTube/Google, because Google owns YouTube. They're going to be making a lot of money from this. They're going to get that $2 billion back, because I don't care. Listen, it's supply and demand. People can complain all they want about, oh, it's too much, it costs too much. But you know what? Their ass going to be right there watching these games, and they're going to be paying for it. And that's a fact. Okay. So you'll pay what you'll pay depending on what it is, right? Because I know people like that. Oh man, That they demand that I ain't buying no that costs too much. And then a week later, hey, where'd you get those new shoes from? Man, those are nice. How much those run? Oh man, that's about 500. But you was just talking about, it costs a lot to get windshield wipers on your car or some crap like that. So, what else were you expecting for those that thought it was going to be such much better? The cool thing about it is that it's YouTube TV. You don't have to sign up for punk ass Direct TV anymore and be locked in for like 2 years, right? The cool thing though about Direct TV though is if what you were able to do was, if you were slick, because I used to do it back in the day, you call and you would cancel, and then you would call, after the season was over, you would call and then cancel, wait the regular couple months, and then the season will start up again, and then you become you pretend that you're a new DirecTV customer, and you would get it for free. So I used to circumvent that, quite a bit back in the day, but then they kind of got out to me, so I couldn't do it anymore. So I do something else now, but I'm not paying $500 for that. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not doing that. I could spend my money on other things, but I will be watching the NFL for sure. So, but good for YouTube. Good for them. Bad for DirecTV. I don't know what's gonna happen to DirecTV now. Like that was their thing. That was their thing. The NFL Sunday Ticket. I mean, am I right or wrong? Like that was their thing. Now they got rid of that. It's like they're probably gonna start folding. They're gonna lose a lot of customers and things of that nature. So, let's see. Patrick says NFL Plus is more affordable than YouTube. Right? I think so. Right? Because I did see that. I did see NFL Plus before, and I think that's a little that is way cheaper. But was that only for just specific teams? I don't know. And that would be cool too, because what if you're just a Cowboys fan like myself and you just want to watch the Cowboys? That'd be nice to just subscribe to them. And maybe that's in the works, but listen, football is king in this country. So whether you're a Cowboys fan, Vikings fan, Eagles fan, Giants, Washington Command, it don't matter, man. If it's on, you're watching it. You're watching it. I mean, look, we're even watching the trash that they're putting out on Thursday night just because it's football. So, and people, and Sunday Ticket, YouTube, they know that. DirecTV, they know that. They know that they can serve anything out there, and you're gonna watch it. And I'm gonna watch it. I have to watch it. I'm a content creator on this stuff, so I ain't got no choice but to watch it. But but again, they're no different than That's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you're checking out my social medias. This week got some stuff going on there. TikTok, we trying to get that popping, man. I'm telling you right now, man. Be on the lookout for my Clutch Combine videos and everything else NFL related. Doing it there. But again, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, do it. Come on, man. Help me out, man. I'm helping you out, giving you your NFL fix. Help a brother out, man. Make sure you head over to the Grid, GRYD Network again. Subscribe to the other guys that are on there too. There's fabulous stuff happening on there. Fabulous stuff, I'm telling you. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Enjoy your Sunday. You guys be good. You guys be safe. Like I always say, this is Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. I'm out of here. Clutch Sports Talk NFL Sunday morning. It's presented by the Grid. Catch the wave, man. We're coming. You guys have a good week.